Hello, I'm Keith Orchison. Welcome to another On Power film presentation. This one features Martin Ferguson speaking at an On Power breakfast forum sponsored by PricewaterhouseCoopers. Martin was one of 4 speakers at this forum. The others were Origin Energy's Frank Calabria, ESAA's Matthew Warren, and PwC's Mark Coughlin, our host. A second presentation of excerpts from this forum will be our next On Power feature. But here now is Martin Ferguson giving his perceptions of the current state of the East Coast's electricity market. Martin, if I may begin with you, I guess we can all agree it's messy. Whose fault is it?
Whilst it's messy, I actually think the achievement of the national energy market over successive governments of all political persuasions is a major achievement. The truth is we've finally got a national discussion about the importance of electricity and the regulatory system, which we've never previously had. It's a market which has been developed by a combination of the Commonwealth and state governments with the participation of those in the industry. Suppose over the last 18 months one of our problems is that yes, there's been a public discussion, but there's been a lot of uninformed input into that discussion, particularly driven by some sections of the media, the tabloids and some radio jocks. My own personal view is that the last white paper that I was responsible for, launched in December 2012, actually set out a platform for further reform over the next 3 to 5 years. The weaknesses were that, because of the nature of my government at the time, we couldn't integrate climate change and energy policy. We also had at the time an unwillingness of principally the New South Wales, Queensland and WA governments to actually front up to their responsibilities with respect to privatisation and retail price competition. The new government now has a tremendous opportunity with the Energy White Paper wrapped up before Christmas to actually achieve the integration of climate change and energy policy. That will see the carbon price disappear and hopefully a review of the RET, which effectively means we go back to a real RET of 20% and grandfather the existing investments. That creates a platform which enables us then to work with state and territory governments and the private sector investors to actually put in place the new process of reform. I think to a large extent the process of consultation through the AEMC, the review of the limited merits review system and the role of the AER in setting the new determinations with effect for the 1st of July in New South Wales, the ACT and Tasmania, in my opinion, has proven successful. Not only is it leading to lower increases, perhaps more importantly, the result of the consultation, which is attacked by some in the community, some in the media, was driven by proper consultation with the key investors who we were required to continue to invest as we put the privatisation agenda in place. They're going to understand that the regulatory processes are above political interference, because that's about sovereign risk and a willingness to actually fund these investments through debt. As we were talking over breakfast, who would have thought in December 2012 we're now positioned potentially to see post-New South Wales and Queensland elections the privatisation of the transmission systems in these 2 states. We also correctly achieved retail price competition in New South Wales, which is a huge struggle from the 1st of July, and a willingness by Queensland and the South Eastern Division to actually do it from 2015. The problem in Queensland is the northern region, which is a community service obligation, which the Queensland government's going to have to front up to, because it's on budget. It's going to get worse over time. Yeah. I think we're going to continue to see, but at long last, hopefully without government intervention, a further community acceptance of renewable energy such as solar power. But from here on in, it's actually cost competitive in terms of the changes in technology, etc. And the government's got to get out of these interventions. It's I suppose, assistance package of about 20 to 30 billion at the moment, the way the RET is working. That is no longer required. If we walk out of automotive, etc., why should we not also walk out of giving subsidies except to the renewable energy sector? So in my opinion, we're now well placed. Post-white paper, and depending on the results of the New South Wales and Queensland elections, with WA, it's not part of the NEM to also front up to its responsibilities, to basically put in place the vision I had in December 2012 of a new process of reform of 3 to 5 years' work. But it will fail unless it is driven by the Energy Ministerial Council, accountable to the COAG process, which was the decision of COAG in December 2012 to actually have the Ministerial Council drive in a cooperative way. And I say at the time there were Conservative ministers in that council. I could not want to have asked for more support from people like McCarthy in Queensland, Hartcher in New South Wales at the time, plus Michael O'Brien is now the Victorian Treasurer. And Ian Macfarlane's now fortunate, but he's got to drive it. That he's got ministers of his own political persuasion. There are huge benefits of privatisation in terms of infrastructure. They've got to grab it and put it in place, and we as a community have got to get behind the New South Wales and Queensland governments and the lead up to their elections in March of next year and make sure they pull it off and then nail the privatisation process with the retail competition and the ongoing regulatory processes. It might be messy, but it's within our capacity to actually continue the process of reform, which will continue forever with respect to the operation of the electricity system. That's my analysis of where it's at.
That was Martin Ferguson speaking at an On Power breakfast forum sponsored by PricewaterhouseCoopers.